What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is August the 28th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today on this very crazy day. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So not a lot in data points today. What is really going to be moving the market is right here. So NVIDIA's earnings after hours on Wednesday. So we'll just have to wait and see what does come, but a lot of analysts are forecasting for this to be the make it or break it point. So let me know your thoughts on that. Fear and greed index is kind of staying in the neutral category. It did lose its momentum to push to the greed, but still people's appetite for risk is still on the table, and that is resemblant based on today. Just, I think right now the dollar value has been relatively low over the last several trading days because people, I think, are just waiting for confirmation from NVIDIA's earnings as well as GDP coming out tomorrow, initial jobless claims, and then PCE on Friday. So it's going to be a roller coaster of the rest of the week. So strap in and get ready. So without further ado, let's get right to it. SOFI did have an amazing push higher. As you can kind of see, it did have a high of roughly $7.89 yesterday. It is down slightly. Nothing really, is just piggybacking off of the broader market. Nothing really crazy in that regard, but still I think that SOFI is ready for a very, very nice breakout, possibly back to double digits. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, the data points that are coming out over the next couple trading days are really going to validate that or not. Currently, 17.96% of the free float is being shorted, so definitely heavily shorted. I don't really anticipate all that much from them today, dependent on what happens after hours today and the data points tomorrow. That's probably where they will pounce, but we'll just have to wait and see. As of right now, with it at $7.75, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So 7.25 and then 7.98 are going to be the next strong support and resistance points. So kind of just take note of some of those. I am looking at the 1-day chart as well. Looking at the 4-hour, you do see this 757 support. So it'll be 757 and then that 727 if I remember correctly. Kohl's. So Kohl's is up slightly because of their earnings. So they did have relatively good earnings. It is heavily shorted at the same time. So I did a top 5 most heavily shorted stocks video over this weekend, and Kohl's surprisingly was stock number 5. It was the 5th most heavily shorted stock. Right now, 37.37% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 40.92 million shares. So this potentially, dependent on what happens today, could have a little bit of a squeeze. I don't anticipate because of their earnings for a mother of all short squeeze kind of scenarios, but because of, like, again, their results, they might return some, right? Something to keep in mind. Right now, though, with it at $20.13, it is trading between these 2 points. So the S2 and this S1, so 19.53 is going to be the next strong support, and then $20.30 is going to be that next strong resistance slash target. So it looks to be running up to that, and I do believe pre-market did kind of have a quick burst above that. So most likely it is going to trade between this S1 and the pivot once the market does open. But again, anything can happen. It is the wild, wild west of the market. NVIDIA. So you can kind of see it is up slightly. No actual news, nothing like that. So one positive thing that I just wanted to kind of go over is the CEO already does have a post I guess earnings interview scheduled. I think it's on CNBC if I remember correctly. But beside the point, I don't think a CEO would do that if their earnings was negative. That's just how I see things, but we'll just have to wait and see. As of right now, with it at 128 and change, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So 127 will be the strong support, and then $130.63 will be that next strong resistance slash target. In my opinion, I feel like it will have kind of a buy the dip moment and push towards this R1. I don't see it justified to be above that, but options activity is implying about a 15% positive and negative swing as a byproduct of their earnings. So it's going to be a crazy roller coaster, as I said, so kind of just buckle up, and yeah, that should be fun. If any of you guys are kind of doing options on NVIDIA, let me know in the comments below. Definitely very interested to see what kind of strike price and expiry date you are picking. Moving on to CHWY. So they did actually have fairly good earnings. So as you can kind of see right here, and actually on a side note, I don't even know if Roaring Kitty is still in this, or even if he ever was. I know there was that rumor. Haven't really kept up to date with what he's doing, but this did have good earnings. It's kind of building up a lot of good momentum. Pre-market, it did have a nice burst to, I think, in both directions to basically where it is now, and then also a downward push to, I think it was like 25 on the mark. So yeah, definitely some manipulation happening. It's not overly like shorted, heavily shorted, like 11.56% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 14.44 million shares. I don't really see this being nothing to like write home about. Shorts have been naturally returning quite a lot over this last little bit, going from around 17% short interest to where it is now, so 11.56. So like I said, I don't really see this being a squeeze play whatsoever. Right now with the at 2670, it is trading between this S1 and the pivot, so 2678 will be that next strong resistance slash target, and so it'll be flirting with that most likely today. Then 2609 will be that next strong support. So kind of just stay tuned. Like I said, pre-market, it did have this crazy dip a couple times, in fact, so just anticipate a lot of volatility. And finally, Lucid is getting a lot of volume for whatever reason, because there has been no news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. Lucid has been actually getting quite a lot of volume over this last little bit in general, despite no news. So it's been an interesting stock over the last 5 days. It is up 13.57%, somewhat heavily shorted, so 27.61% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 247.75 million shares. So this one, if they were to put out the right catalyst, could be a squeeze in my opinion, but I think shorts have been lingering for a reason. I don't know if they're anticipating negative news or whatever else, but right now with it at 408, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So R1, so the next strong resistance slash target being $4.31, 387 is going to be the next strong support. Or I don't know if I said that backwards, but you guys get what I'm saying. That's the next strong support and resistance points. Pre-market though, it did already have a dip below $4. So just once again, anticipate another rocky day, because yesterday it did have a quick spike to $4.40. So it was very out of left field. Nobody really kind of anticipated that, and then it just sold off to a low of 384. So both spectrums there. So just anticipate again a lot of volatility with basically every stock that I'm talking on. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then take advantage of this promo. It has been extended up until the end of September. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So this is a kick-ass deal. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.